Hey trainers, Poke Dad here along with the Dancing Bear at first base.
KK Shiv.
And here on Pokemon Deck Check, something special, what we believe to be, from our testing anyways, the best deck in the format, bar none.
It's a wonderful deck.
And that deck just happens to be Vikavolt Rayquaza.
3 Grubbins, 3 Vikavolts, 3, 1 Rayquaza Bulu, 2 Lele's, 1 Marshadow.
Okay, so we're looking to get the turn 2 Vikavolt going with the strong charge, allowing us to grab a grass and a lightning. Hopefully attaching it to Rayquaza or Bulu. Ideally, what you want to do is turn 1 Lily for 8. And if you're not seeing Vikavolt and Rare Candy for the following turn 2, then just go ahead and attach grass to the big guy here, Mr. Rayquaza, and use Tempest GX. Discard those your hand and draw 10, and hopefully off that 10 you get the Rare Candy Vikavolt, and then you can follow it up the following turn with the Vikavolt Rare Candy, and then hit them with the Marshadow with the Let Loose ability, putting your opponent down to 4 cards. And then every turn you're strong charging to Rayquaza or to Bulu. It's just awesome. Awesome combination there. Good stuff. But looking to turn 1 Lily, then Tempest GX. You'll be able to get your Rare Candy Vikavolt off of pretty much 18 cards, right?
Unless you just have my luck.
So, got the 1 Bulu. He is nice. He's got one of the most underrated GX attacks in the game. Tapu Wilderness to heal all damage from him. And, these Zoroark decks, they sometimes struggle to get up to 180 unless they use the Tapu Koko to get the numbers just right. So, hitting Tapu Wilderness with 150 plus Choice Band 180. Pretty good, plus healing all the damage.
And you get to keep the energy for Nature's Judgment.
Yep, and then also the Nature's Judgment hitting for 120. That's pretty good. Against things like the Deoxys, or what else is 120? Oranguru. Being able to one-shot Rangaroos is really important in this format.
But you can also just go in with Rayquaza.
Yeah.
Rangaroo.
But we do like the Bulu. I think you could definitely go with the 4th Rayquaza if you don't like the Bulu, but test it out. I think you'll see Bulu still has some value. You're playing something that's not weak to Gardevoir, so it's good. And the key to the Gardevoir matchup is hit it with Horn Attack with Choice Band to do 60, and then at that point they can't really one-shot unless they overextend. And if they overextend, then you just come in with Rayquaza and you can hit them fairly easy. But if they don't overextend, then they have to decide to max potion that 60 damage off, or just leave it. And at that point, then Nature's Judgment gets you your 230. So there's definite strategies with Bulu against Gardevoir, which Gardevoir is going to be probably one of your toughest matchups with Rayquaza. So, all right, that's the Pokemon line. I could also see a Zergatry, a tech of Zergatry. I would not cut the
any of
the Marshadow. No, don't cut the Pokemon. You can cut from the items or the supporters.
4 Ultra Ball, 4 Rare Candy, 3 Mysterious Treasure, 3 Choice, 2 Energy Recycler, 2 Rescue Stretcher, Nest Ball, Escape Rope, and Switch.
Okay, so Mysterious Treasure to get the Marshadow, to get the Lele or the Rayquazas, Ultra Ball to get everything else, your Vikavolt, 4 Rare Candy. You're definitely wanting to draw into that, so maximizing those is an essential. Choice Band rather than Wishful Baton, much more important with Bulu and Rayquaza hitting the right numbers versus keeping the energy on there. So definitely like Choice Band over Wishful Baton, right?
Yeah, because you can just get the energy back with Energy Recycler and then Strong Charge.
Yep, so you don't feel the need to, I've got to keep these energies into play, because especially if you get 2 Vikavolts set up, you're just going to steamroll people. So, 2 rescue stretchers. A lot of that's maybe you Tempest and you had to get rid of a Vikavolt or something. And so, but off the 10 cards that you Tempest into, you get Rescue Stretcher and say Rare Candy. Well, there's your Vikavolt right there. So, 2 rescue stretchers works out perfect. And, milling with Rayquaza's ability could be an issue. So, definitely like the 2. I would not cut down to 1. One nest ball just to kind of help get Grubbins into play. You generally don't need more than 2 Grubbins into play. If they're targeted down your Grubbin, that means they're ignoring your Rayquaza or your Bulu, which is not a good thing for them to do. So, switch to help the mobility of the deck. They are some big Pokemon with 3 retreats, but we do play the Switch and Guzma and the Escape Rope. So we actually play 6 different ways to maneuver around the board. So you never feel like you're stuck in the active. Escape Rope. Talk to us about how great Escape Rope is.
It's great in just every matchup, and then it's especially great in Malamar whenever they do their GX attack.
Dawn Wings.
Yep. No. Malamar doesn't quite have a GX attack.
Dawn Wings Necrozma is what he's talking about.
Once they do the 180 and protection, then you can just Escape Rope and then Guzma it back up, and then the effect turns off. So then you're able to one-shot and make the prize trade even again. Because most of the time with that matchup, say you take 2 prizes, then they take 2 prizes, then you take 2 prizes. And if they use their GX attack and take 2 prizes, then you have to find a way to get the last 2 prizes, or they just get a knockout and take their 6 prizes.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but we've seen this strategy somewhere before, right, with the Escape Rope?
It was used against Jolteon EX. I think it was mainly with Night March.
Okay, so Jolteon EX, it would use, Flash Ray, and then it'd have protection from EX Pokemon, right?
I think it was just basic.
Oh, basic. You have protection from basic, so you'd have to Escape Rope and then Lysander it back up. Okay, so this formula has proven to be successful, right?
Yeah.
So the Escape Rope / Guzma or Lysander is nothing new. It's proven to be successful. So Escape Rope, super good in this deck.
I kind of think that it gets better with Guzma, because then you have to have at least 2 things powered up to take a knockout. But if you have... But, like, back in the day with Lysander, you'd have to have 2 because you only switch 1 time.
Wow. Makes sense. Works better with Guzma. I agree.
Then for supporters, 4 Cynthia, 4 Guzma, 2 Lily, 1 Fan Club, 1 Volkner.
Okay, so 4 Cynthia is super nice to shuffle and draw. Maybe you're just kind of in a bad way on turn 1. If you're turn 1 for Cynthia, then I feel like you're just going too slow, right?
Yeah.
But, there's times where you need. Maybe you have a bunch of rare candies and Vikavolts that you don't want to just get rid of, or you can't really Lily for the maximum amount of cards. So, there's times where you have to use Cynthia, but definitely like Cynthia later game rather than early, right?
Yeah.
That's just a if I have to, unlike your turn 1 and 2. But it's even turn 2 I'm okay with Cynthia, but turn 1 you want to be playing Lily on turn 1. You want to be seeing 8 cards, Tempest GX to see another 10, so 18 cards on turn 1, ideally. Pokemon Fan Club, that helps get your attackers into your hand. Then you can use Rayquaza's ability to accelerate energy. So that's mainly the Fan Club. It's to basically get your attackers. It can also find Grubbins and stuff, but mainly you're going to be, man, I need to get some more attackers because I'm tired of strong charging to the same Rayquaza or the same Bulu, so let's strong charge to something else. For Guzma, like we talked about, mobility is key in this deck. You don't want to be just knocking out what's in the active. You want to really knock out whatever threat is on the table for your opponent. So Guzma is super good. Now Volkner. We actually didn't have one when we put this deck together over this past weekend. So we just had to handwrite it, but grabbing an item, 9 times out of 10, you're going to grab your rare candy and then a lightning energy, so an attachment. So,
or Ultra Ball for, if you already have rare candy, then just Ultra Ball for the.
So with Volkner, it's really good because you get your attachment for a turn, and if you grab rare candy and you already have Vikavolt, then there you go. Or like Caden said, you grab Ultra Ball with it. So it just helps smooth out. It actually works better than Skyla, right?
Mm-hmm.
We like this better than Skyla now in this deck. And I'm kind of disappointed. I think if I had known about how great this card was, I think I would have played it over Skyla in the original Bulu list, right? Because you can get the lightning energy and then strong charge. I think why people didn't play Volkner is because Bulu is 2 grass and then 1 colorless. I think that's the difference. Is with Rayquaza, it doesn't matter as long as one's lightning, one's grass. So grab your rare candy, grab your attach for turn with your lightning, and then strong charge Rayquaza's attacking. So we really like the Volkner. The more we mess around, we're either gonna go to a second Volkner from the Cynthia or Fan Club to Volkner, right?
Yeah.
We're definitely going to add a second because it's bringing so much value to the table. But we're just giving you our current list. We have not begun to tweak this to dial it in 100%, but we do know for sure that a second Volkner will be installed into this deck probably after this video. And at the end of the video, we'll kind of decide what we're cutting and what we're changing.
I think maybe 1 full clear for Fan Club.
Yeah, I think Fan Club's the cut. Fan Club or the 4th Cynthia. I'm on the fence on either one.
Energy, 7/7.
7/7, nothing new. Rayquaza decks are just eating the 7/7 formula, so there's no reason to change it. In the past, Bulu decks ran a 7 grass, 5 lightning, but that was Rayquaza's wanting as much energy on the field as possible, and it's good to use its ability and get one into play. You just accelerate more, and you've got the 2 energy recyclers, so you can shuffle nice 5 back into the deck. So having more energy is always a good thing in this deck. So, all right, so matchups.
Malamar's
From our testing, Malamar is kind of 50-50. It's a tough matchup, and it comes down to, do you get your turn 2 Vikavolt or not? And that's how a lot of matchups go, if you get your turn 2 Vikavolt, but more so with Malamar. The other decks are a little bit slower than Malamar, to where if you miss the turn 2 Vikavolt and you don't get it till turn 3, you can still play catch up. So Metagross can be very, very difficult. You have to kind of go in super hard and get 2 Vikavolts set up, right?
Yeah.
You have to get as much energy on the field as possible in conjunction with the choice band.
And you can't use Bulu.
Nah, Bulu's kind of a dead card in the Metagross matchup. It's more important to get your Vikavolts and your Rayquazas up and going. But it's still tough because they can one-shot your Rayquazas now. So yeah, everything else pretty good. I mean, Lycanroc can give you a little trouble with the Dangerous Rogue, but you can chase down the Rockruff really easy with the 4 Guzmas. So give it a shot, and like I said, we're going to take out the Fan Club, right?
Right.
We're going to take out the Fan Club for the second Volkner, and by all means, try the list out, have fun, and definitely take it to a challenge or a League Cup. And you'll for sure get top 8. I'm calling it right now. So, now, until next time, be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.